I've got a great project for you. This will be fantastic for anybody's workshop. It's the pocket hole machine. I got the idea off of the Wooden Tool Man's site. His name is Wayne. He's on YouTube. He does a fantastic job, and that's where the idea came from. I'll share it with you, and if you like, you ought to build one. It's really great. If you're not familiar with pocket hole joinery, what it does is it takes two boards and joins them together by screws. Can't get any simpler than that. If you've looked at my making a $10 door, I use pocket hole joinery to make the frame of it. Let me show you how to build one of these. All we did was we took a Kreg Jig, the K3, and we put it on, so instead of having to manually use the lever on the front, we just attach the pedal. And as you can see, when you step on the pedal, it clamps the board to the drilling guides. Can't get any simpler than that, and it really works great. You can drill a lot of holes fast. Wayne's a cabinet maker, and it sure beats buying an $840 Kreg Foreman. Let me show you how it works. You place the board inside the jig, and you clamp it down. And then using their step drill, you can drill a lot of holes fast. The Kreg Jig also comes with this little attachment, and it's to put a vacuum cleaner on it. It just attaches right here. And the only reason why I didn't have it on is it's so noisy, but if I were working by myself, I would have this attached, and you wouldn't have cleanup either. You're ready to go. Okay, I'm just going to give you the dimensions real quick so you can build one for yourself. The base is 9.5 inches wide, and it's 16 inches long. Okay. The upright is 9.5 inches wide, and it's 24 inches long. You're going to need two of these, the right and the left. Okay. Then let's go for the top of the base. I made mine 32 inches long, and again, 9.5 inches wide. Now, the Kreg Jig is 3/4 inches tall. So, for me to be able to put a board on it and have it supported on both sides, I made two short little tables that attach to this. Okay. They are 4.5 inches wide and 14.25 inches long. Let's see if I did the same on this side. Yeah, sure did. I just centered that. Okay. With that done, you have the table. And I just simply screwed up through the base of it. Now we're going to put a 3/4 inch block between these two sides. Okay? And I made them 2 inches wide, 9.5 inches long, and I put one at the top and one at the bottom here. Okay? Let's get this part right here. This is 1 3/4 inches wide by 25 inches long. Alright? We need two of these. And then we have the foot pedal. So the only thing we're missing now is the foot pedal. Let me show you how this operates and where I got the parts from it. I purchased the Stanley 16-piece clamp set, and the reason why I really bought it was I took the 3-inch clamp. If you can go to Big Lots and just get this clamp, that'd be fine too. And I wanted this spring. Okay? And I just took it apart. It's a Phillips head screw. And when it came out, that's the spring to return my pedal. Okay? So remove the spring, and I'll show you how this works. Okay, what I've done here is I bought 4 1/4-inch bolts 3 inches long. Okay, I put a washer on it and I put a nylon nut on the other end of it. That's the kind of nut that keeps it from backing off. And then I bought a 3/8 inch bolt that has a washer and again another nylon nut, and this is 3 inches in length, 3/8 by 3 inches. All right, this is real simple. This spring right here, as you can see, I just put it through this bolt in between this, right? And I pinched the top underneath this bolt, just like that. And I pinched the bottom on top of this bolt, okay? And it compresses it and returns the pedal. So if you will, it's just this happening without the clamp. Very simple. Let me show you the screw locations and what this bottom pedal looks like. Alright, you can see right here, this is the top of the spring and it's underneath this bolt. This bolt holds the spring, it just goes right through the center of it, and this bolt, the bottom again, rides on top of it. So we get the return because of the compression of this. This is the foot pedal, and it's 3 inches wide, and at the longest point, it's 15.5 inches. Okay. Now I forgot I had done this. This is kind of interesting. With my 3/8 inch bolt that this rides on, giving it a pivot, what I did was I took a piece of pipe that was 3/8 inches wide to reduce the wear on the pedal. So I just put a little insert right there. Okay, so it's metal on metal. And also, I don't have any threads right here. Okay, just something I had done. I'm going to show you the hole locations and everything in a moment. But there's one other thing that has to be noted. You have to take a sander or a grinder and make this a little bit narrower than 3/4 inches. Because we use 3/4 inch spacers between these two uprights. So you have to sand this just a tad bit to get it to operate real well in between. Let me show you where the hole locations are. I believe when I made this, he didn't have the directions up yet. So this was a trial and error. I just liked what he had done, and I tinkered around until I got it right. But going from the top of the pedal, I came down 2 1/4 inches and made a mark. And then I came in 1 inch and I made a mark. And that's where I drilled my hole for the pivot point. And then up front here, coming from the back side now, come in 9 1/4 inches in and 2 inches down and drill your hole. Those are the only 2 holes you need for your pedal. I had to take off the rubber handle part here, and it revealed this piece of metal, and I just drilled a 3/8 inch hole for the handle bolt. Let me show you on the uprights that control the handle where I put my holes. Let's start from the bottom. Again, these are 1/4 inch bolts, and I came in right at 1 inch. Okay? And the top is a 1/2 inch. So 1 inch, 1 inch, and a 1/2 inch. And let's go and measure from the bottom. Okay? This first one is 1 inches in and 1 inches up. This is 1 inches in and 8.5 inches up. That's 8.5 inches up. And then this is 23 3/4 inches up. And again, 1/2 inch in. Those are the only holes you need on the 2 uprights. Alright. We only have 3 holes on these 2 uprights. Let's see what we got. This is 1 inches in and 1 inches in. Okay? And the bottom one's going to be 9.5 inches up and 12 inches up. The bolt that's 12 inches up is the one that the bolt goes through the coil on the spring. Okay? It gives us the compression. Now this is our pivot point hole, and that is 8 inches up, and coming from the back side is 4 1/4 inches in. And those are the only holes we have in this whole thing. Assembly goes as follows. Just stick your pedal in, and this is the only tricky spot. You gotta get your hole in, just like so. Now to assemble the uprights that control the handle. That's simple enough. Just take the bottom bolt, stick it through your pedal. This bolt right here has to go underneath the clamping of that spring. See, the spring is now holding it up. And then this has to go through the handle. Just like that. So the spring is underneath this bolt, and it's on top of this bolt. See? And that's what gives us this motion right here. And then just take your other side and simply put it in. Like so. Now don't tighten this up too tight, because it won't operate properly. You get it too tight and it needs to be kind of loose. And that's why I use these bolts that have the plastic on them to keep them from walking their way off. I hope you go home and build one of these. They're a great addition to the garage. Again, thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe, thumbs up, and share buttons. See you on the next video.